And I was wondering why I usually read sometimes in few so classic books, textbooks that don't treat children. So we are, I think, in the opposite way. Huh? So thank you for your both guys' presentation. This is the future. I think everybody believes in this and trusts in this. Dr. Kurt, you want to say something? A question? Okay. Maybe I have a microphone here.
I think I will be.
Okay.
Question is for the professor.
You want to place a question?
Yes. Philippe, if you can come.
You show us very clear that we must spend
Oui,
money.
Marc,
He will translate for you.
exhibition.
The translate.
He's going to translate.
He showed us very clear that the first phase of treatment must be the expansion of the maxilla. My question is, after this expansion, do you use every time or sometimes functional appliances?
Yes, if I have a class 2 squelettique, chez un jeune enfant, j'utilise un appareil fonctionnel.
Every time, yes, in young people, in young children, he uses a functional appliance after.
Thank you.
Je rajouterais même que pour utiliser un appareil fonctionnel, je pense que c'est la condition essentielle de résoudre avant, en première intention, les problèmes transversaux.
First of all, yes, it's always necessary to use expansion before using functional appliance.
Thanks.
I would like to ask, how many of you all like to bond second molars if you're going to intrude an anterior segment? Do you use a whole buccal segment bonded together? Because I've seen first molars here, and incisors were intruded, upper and lower incisors. And I personally like, if I'm going to do that, I like to have the second molar also bonded. So I often wait, you know, in order to have that second molar bonded.
You're placing the question to me or for the doctor?
Whoever.
Okay. I can give you my perspective. So usually we treat early ages, so there's no second molar in place. Second thing is, if we wait till the second molar, the patient is going to be very close to 12 years old, maybe sometimes too late. So this is my perspective. Depending on the malocclusion, especially class 3s, the second molar plays a very important role. If you sometimes include the second molar, you can make the malocclusion worse, or you must be very careful to deal with second molars. And maybe this is the reason why rickets never utilize a lot second molars. And you see all bioprogressive doctors here, you usually don't bone second molars. But class 2 severe ones, vertical, and the class 3s, second molars are very, very, very important. So now I agree, but not for intrusion. Because we usually use very light forces and don't go beyond 80 grams. And this way the molar can hold. Molar and bicuspids hold 80 grams of intrusion forces. If you go beyond 80 grams, your system of anchorage is going to collapse. And of course,
Well, if you're going to intrude, how many of you are using intrusion arches or reverse curve nitinol arches to do that?
His perspective.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119 Quand le patient vient après l'éruption des deuxièmes molaires, il est évident que j'utilise la deuxième molaire.
When the patient arrives after the eruption of the second molar, it's evident that he bends the second molar.
Mais la plupart du temps, je vois des jeunes patients où la dent de deuxième molaire n'est pas évoluée.
But most of the time, yes, he see patients without the second molar at the first appointment.
Et pour la qualité du déverrouillage, je ne vais pas attendre l'évolution de cette deuxième molaire.
And for the quality of the interception, he prefer, he don't want to wait the apparition of the second molars.
Ensuite, quand je veux corriger une supraocclusion, la plupart du temps, je vais faire une ingression au niveau des incisives mandibulaires.
Most of the time, when he wants to have an action of supraocclusion, he will have an action of ingression of the mandibular, of the incisive.
Même si radiographiquement, je vois que c'est les incisives maxillaires qu'il faudrait agresser, et pour des raisons esthétiques.
Even if on cephalometric, he see that it would be the upper incisive which needs to have ingression. He prefer have an action on the mandibular incisive only for aesthetic.
Second question. You place another one. You have another question?
You said you lose using light forces,
Yes.
even in the face of a really strong mentalis habit?
Yes, I think the lighter, the better. Even the muscles sometimes can cause you some blockage, and now muscle recession surgery can be a good option.
Oh yeah, it can be therapeutic, but what I'm saying is, you got to fight the muscle to get the teeth down.
Yes, if you center very well in the center of the symphysis, put in the cancellous bone, 80 grams is enough. But when the muscles are very strong, usually we recommend the muscles surgery.
Do you differentiate in the upper arch and the lower arch with the amount of force that you
Yes,
use?
for sure. Upper arch, you have thicker and bigger roots, so you can work around 100 grams, and the lower
Yeah.
80 grams because of this surface, root surface area.
Yeah.
It's smaller. This is the way we do. But the biggest mistake I usually see all around the world when you are working with utility arches is do not place the roots and center it in the cancellous bone before placing intrusion forces. So if you have the roots touching the cortical plates, don't place intrusion forces. Otherwise, it's not going to work, and it causes a lot of bone resorption and the cortical plate, especially buccal plate, and root resorption. So before you start to intrude, align, upright the root, and now you can intrude for pure intrusion, if this is what you want, in the lower arch. Upper, it's easier because this bone is softer, but on the lower, more compact. So you must be very, very careful what kind of symphysis are you dealing with.
But you're not using intrusion arches, nickel titanium.
No, because nickel titanium is very hard, because to make any intrusion you must have a stiff wire. If it's too flexible, you will cause a cant, or you cannot control very well what you're doing. And reverse curve always flare. It's basically impossible to control the case and make bodily intrusion vertical. If you have a reverse curve, no matter if inside the holes, the whole buccal bracket slots, or let's say from the molar to the incisors, overcoming the inside, the brackets of the buccal area, you will flare. This is basically a straight wire. So it's not segmented. That's the thing. This is the way we usually control. Now you can ask what kind of wire. We usually prefer working with below July because it's softer, but if you want to use a TMA, if you want to use stainless steel, it's all about your preference. As soon as you understand you need 80 grams, it can be stainless steel, TMA, anything, but not night tie. Night tie is too soft, too flexible. It's like you try to make intrusion of twist flex wire or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So any other questions? Any comments? Nothing to say?
We should compliment John. Look, he worked 3 hours a day for weeks to learn to get that talk.
Thank you.
And it sounded like he was speaking
I appreciate your presence, doctors. I hope to see you guys again in the future in our next, organization courses and all that. And I'm happy because the group is growing. Okay, this is super. Thank you very much.